Hey everybody, what's going on? Dace here, and today we are going to be doing another custom project, and this time it's going to be on my Fusion PowerA Arcade Stick. So we're going to be doing artwork, of course. We're going to be switching the dust cover, ball top, and the buttons, all that great stuff. This arcade stick will normally come, or always come with this as like the default art. This is just begging for something new, and as cool as this is, it's just, yeah, like I think it's cool, but at the same time, it's like, I don't really want that on there when you can do something more personal and, yeah, just more to your preference or your whatever. So one thing I will mention is that there was, like, when I got the parts the other day and I looked at the art, I noticed a discrepancy with what I had ordered, and so I figured, like, it's going to be, like, because of the wait times and the shipping and all that kind of stuff, it's going to be at least half a month before the new art shows up. So I'm not going to reveal that right now, but when I did start recording this yesterday and got to like some of the button dismantling portions, I noticed that yeah, there were some things I came across that I had never dealt with before, and it kind of led to some interesting situations, which I figured I would at least record this session now while the information is fresh, and that way I'll just throw it together however when we get all the rest of the video portions done. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead with what we can for now, and then I'll just record the other portions when the art shows up. And that bag right there. So let's just get right into everything that's going to be involved, or potentially. So another of the clear, once we take the blue plastic off, dust covers, I got a set of the 35mm Seimitsu screw ones, like the screw-on, for like the nice pink clear plastic. So we got a full set of that, and then I went with these two ball tops. I was really into the idea of the Babinga wood, but I also got this orange bubble top. I was really keen. I felt like this might be the one to go with, just based on the image, like the artwork that we're going with this time. But when it showed up, and the more I started thinking about it, I figured, man, you know what? The wood might just be really nice. Let's set up maybe just like one of these or something, like this. We'll just take this apart, just prop that up like that or something. Yeah, maybe that's fine. Where are my tools? Okay, so let's just take these guys off. Okay, so that just pops off. The little door thing for the cord, which on this model is detachable, which is nice. That just like has those pegs there, so it doesn't actually stay fastened to the casing itself. So just be wary of that. But anyway, let's take a look at this. So yesterday I was fiddling around with here. By the way, this arcade stick has some really cool features. One of the things, not that it's at all necessary, but there's a specific slot for this gate, which just like kind of like, yeah, goes in there. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, so one thing with this particular arcade stick, I've never seen this on other ones before, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to really showcase it the greatest way. And I'm sure like this is probably more common elsewhere, but like just with the sticks that I have here, I've never come across it. But if you can kind of see that, you'll see that little flap sticking up in the middle section. This has a locking mechanism, so I wasn't aware of this when I first started yanking, and I kind of sensed that something was off, but I was like, well, you know what? It's my first time pulling these off the stock buttons, so it must just be really on there. But I didn't realize it was actually locked to the pin, and so the first one came off somehow without me unlocking it, or maybe I did it without meaning to or realizing it. But some of these other ones, like this one and I think this brown one over here, I actually tore the pin right out of the the micro switch, like right through the plastic. So that was like pretty crazy. But then I realized what was going on, and they come off a lot easier once you know. So I've actually gone ahead and just removed all these prior, just so that it was easier to get off, just like the last video we did. But just be aware of that. Like if you do have this stick, or one very similar with the locking mechanisms, I mean, all you really do is that little section there, you just push that through, and then that will unlock it, and it just slides right off the pin. So anyway, yeah, it's kind of like a little more of a hassle than just yanking, but whatever, it is what it is. And then for one thing that I am not so crazy about is, and I'm not sure how this one is going to be with like how things are so close here, like that plastic wall right there, but this especially, I have like the buttons I did, which will probably be in like the unboxing section, which would have happened at the start of the video or whatever the case is. I obviously went with like Seimitsu screw ones, and the screw doesn't go down all the way because like we have this metal plate for the stick, and then we also have this plastic like curved wall that comes down around here, so it's like you can't actually tighten it all the way down, and I would imagine it will be the same issue with this one. I'm not sure about this one because again we have this plastic wall, like who knows how it'll go, but this one I know for sure because I did like a quick test before the video yesterday. It just, you can pretty much tighten it down to the top of this plastic wall. So it's like if you really wanted it to go flush, you would need to cut part of this metal plate off and then also chip away all this plastic down here. It's not the most practical design. It's obviously not set up for like screw-on buttons, which is kind of strange. Like you would think they would just leave a little bit of space to accommodate that. But anyway, we'll see how things go. I'm not too concerned. You can at least get it tight enough, having it go down along there, like on top. But if I really need to do something, I can always put like, let's say a piece of cork that's just tall enough so that it's pushing down on the cork and this section evenly to hold the button in place so that it doesn't wobble, if that is an issue. But I don't think it will be because of what I sorted out yesterday. But anyway, that's just something I want to mention in case you're planning on modding this particular stick or you have a situation like that. So anyway, I'm gonna pop these guys out one at a time. So one side and then the next, I just like push that in. And actually, one thing I will say is, there we go. For one of the buttons yesterday that the pin came right out, it wasn't working when I was testing it in Jamestown because there's just a very easy way to test all the buttons individually in that game in particular. But I was able to just kind of like pull the switch out of the casing here and put the pin, just so I had like a better handle on everything instead of just holding this whole thing. And I was able to get the pin back in fairly deep, and it was kind of wobbly, but eventually I got it to work. But I think if I was going to actually use this set of red buttons for anything in the future, I would probably just put a new component in there entirely, and instead of running the risk of having one that kind of works sometimes but doesn't at other times. So I think what we will do is another thing I will mention is if you do have, you see how there's like that little groove on each pin, and then of course on this side it's like jutting out, it's punched in from one side, and then of course it punches out on the other side. If you don't like the locking mechanism, you can switch the clamp thing, stick it on the pin, and it won't lock, or at least that's been my experience from the few I tested. So if you don't want it to like do the whole locking thing, you can see if that works for you. It's worked for me so far. So I think what we'll do is actually put the buttons in now. So I will just grab those from my box, and that way I can kind of like mention what I was saying with the screw thing not going all the way down. I can kind of just like showcase that a little better, and we can just do one button at a time that way too, for the sake of like keeping cords organized. So I'll bring this closer. So as you can see, when we, if I can reach like this, oh man, I'm blocking the light. So as you can see, it barely screws. Where are we? Jeez. It's like you can pretty much go like that. And obviously, if we can focus, like right there, yeah. Like ideally, it would go all the way down, but like there's that gap, like down in here. Jeez. It's focusing on the yellow. I don't want it to do that. But yeah, this pink at the bottom here, ideally that's where like the black ring would screw all the way down to, but yeah, it just doesn't. So it feels secure for now, so I think we're just gonna call it there, and then just put the pins on. Okay, so far we have all of those in. Yeah, so like I was saying, like this one, that situation is what it is. This bottom one here, like I said. This one, which I wasn't sure how that would go, it is all the way down, but I feel like I would want to tighten it a little more. I'm just not, it's tricky because like you have this thing here, and then of course this plastic in there comes up, so it's like you can only really put your finger there and like anywhere around here, and it's not much room for spinning it a little tighter, but I think for the most part it's great. This one over here has this thing in the way which holds the this guy, but that actually was fine there. So for the most part, yeah, like this one's tight enough, this one's tight enough, they're all tight enough, which I'm really thankful for. So it's not like that was really too much of an issue. But yeah, that is the button portion. That was quite involved. I think one of these down here, when the stick came off screen for a little bit, that was because I just, some of those lock things, getting them through, like pushing it through that little tiny area enough to actually then pull it out freely was, yeah, pretty wild. But yeah, anyway, that's that portion of the project. All right, so to continue things, I feel like it has been a month since we did the button portion. I realize you guys aren't aware of like the time, but holy smokes, it has felt like an eternity since I reordered the correct like art, since there was that issue. So anyway, this just showed up today. I'm stoked. It's honestly just going to be like a few minutes to finish this project off, so we might as well just get started. I don't recall if I mentioned something that Autumn and I talked about. Originally, I was feeling really into like both of these. I feel like this is probably the one that's going to go, because when we thought about it, this one would probably look better if there was some kind of like, I'm not sure, there's like a nice shine to it, but in ways there's just something a little dull, and I'm not sold on the Babinga wood option anymore. One other thing though that did show up recently was this bullet top lever, a pink bubble one, and that is another option for this, because now, like, just seeing this color here, of course this might be a nice option, but we'll do the art reveal first, and then we'll see what we're feeling when we actually have it in place. So okay, so this is what we're talking about. Boom. That is looking correct this time, so I'm very thankful for that, very pleased with how that turned out. Oh my god. So anyway, the whole point, what I was wanting to go with in terms of like the theme of the stick was something like a gorgeous sunset with buttons and a ball top to match, of course. Something that just kind of felt like a mix of Japanese style art, like, you know, the famous wave one, I'm not sure what the image is called, but mixed with something that kind of felt like just retro synth wavy, sort of, with just like the cool like lines across the sun, just that kind of vibe. And that's originally why I felt the Babinga would be fitting, because it's like the beach theme sort of thing. But then again, of course, like an orange bubble top would just really pop with this image, kind of just like, yeah, it would just go really well. But then at the same time, it's like why I'm thinking like the pink might be really nice too. So we'll see which one yeah, takes the cake there. So anyway, we'll set this art just over here for a minute and get the plexi off, the ball top off, and we'll just do this. Alright, so I think I'm just going to take a quick look, just like do a quick test, as if that's like what would be on. That could be really nice. At the same time, this, oh man, there's just something about that. Oh man, like which one to do? I know this one, like I'm really not feeling that at all. You know what, I think they're both so good. Like I could do either, honestly. Oh my god. But I think I will kind of stick with the original idea, just because like, since we have like the circular shape of the sun, having like just a big orange ball here too is kind of nice. But I absolutely love that bullet top look too. I might even switch it down the road, who knows, whatever. But I think that's going to be the one we do, so we'll just go with that for now. We'll just tighten this on properly. And there is the finished product, minus the glare. I am completely pleased. Oh my god, I'm so stoked. Like when I first decided on this image, and then I just selected the pink buttons, and then like everything just came together, and like the black casing, it just looks so clean, so sharp. I absolutely love this. Wow. Anyway, that is that. Thank you so much for checking this out with me as we went through the steps and all that kind of stuff. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have the Fusion by PowerA, let me know, or whatever you use. If you have recently done like a swap or like new art or whatever, let me know what you've been up to. Really appreciate everyone, honestly. I cannot say that kind of stuff enough in these videos. I really do appreciate all the support and everything else. So yeah, have a stellar one. Thank you so much again, and we will see you next time.